guys, welcome to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to show you a few tips that I learned on my trip to Bridgetown, Barbados. I was there this past week for the Caribbean Fine Arts Fair. My sister and I had the privilege of getting to sing for the fair, and so this is my second time to Barbados, and I just wanted to come to you and show you a few tips that I learned being on the island, kind of tips, tricks, and hacks, and if you want to hear more, stay tuned. So one of the main things that I learned being on this island, use Airbnb. Airbnb is the best thing all over the world. It was so cheap. It was like a couple hundred for the week, and we got to have that Bayesian feel. We stayed with Set at the Maryville Guest House, which is a really great place to stay. So if you go there, make sure you let him know that Monica sent you. The next one is use the dollar van. That dollar van is 2 Bayesian dollars, which is equivalent to 1 American dollar. So that dollar van will get you from one part of the island to another part of the island. You can take the van straight into Bridgetown. I took it to Bridgetown, to Oistins. You can take it up to Harrison's Cave, which is a tourist attraction, so be sure to take that dollar van. Do not take cabs because those cabs are very expensive. I think the only time you should really catch a cab is if you are catching a flight that's like an off time. Like my flight was at 5 a.m. so I had to take a cab to the airport, but they have dollar vans that go to the airport, so make sure that you're not shelling out all this money as soon as you touch down. Ask where the dollar vans are so you can get to where you're going. Next, haggle with pricing for excursions. I was on the beach hanging out, and this guy came to me and was like, "Oh, you want to go jet skiing?" And I'm like, "Yes, jet skiing." And he was like, "Oh, $40 American." And it turns out that when I got there were other guys trying to sell me the same thing, jet skiing, and it ended up being $20 American. So haggle, haggle, haggle. Put on your New Yorker hat or your whatever hat and haggle. Another place that has the best food on the island is Oistins. Oistins is an area in Barbados, but it's also a restaurant, and they have a fish fry Friday nights, and there's a bunch of tourists and locals who come and eat fish, and they have music, and it's just like a good vibe. Next, if you're into the spicy life, you have to try some Bayesian pepper sauce. That pepper sauce, I actually have a bottle here. It is so good, but only for the brave at heart. That stuff is spicy, but you know, chase it with some milk or something, but that Bayesian pepper sauce, so good. So you get some fish cakes. There are ladies in Bridgetown. You'll see them like kind of like at the sides of the road. Don't go to those expensive restaurants and buy some fish cakes for like 20 American dollars. Go to the side of the road, get you 3 fish cakes for $2 and be on your way. Those fish cakes, you have to do it. Another important thing to do is you have to check out the countryside of Barbados. It is so beautiful. There's sugarcane everywhere. There are animals. We saw monkeys. You're just really in the countryside, and it's such a different experience from Bridgetown, the main part of Barbados. So make sure you take one of the dollar vans to the countryside. Another really cool place that we visited was the St. Lawrence Gap. The St. Lawrence Gap is like where they have all the nightlife, all the parties, all the food. The St. Lawrence Gap is where a lot of tourists go to enjoy the nightlife of Barbados. There's multiple clubs on this whole strip. You can even walk out to the beach. So St. Lawrence Gap, because when you see the dollar van coming, it'll usually say Oistins on it, or it'll say Bridgetown, or there'll be a sign in the front of the bus, and when you see that, you're gonna point to the ground, and that lets them know to stop to pick you up. Also, they'll yell out the van if like you coming. So that's another way. Another really cool thing to visit is Harrison's Cave. Now, Harrison's Cave is a tourist site. It's a little expensive. I went the first time that I visited Barbados, but it is so worth it. I mean, to be immersed in this cave and to see like all the things in there. I won't ruin it for you, but it's definitely a must-see. Another place to check out is Carlisle Bay and Browns Beach. Those are 2 really scenic beaches in Barbados. Beautiful views of the ocean, of the sand, so you definitely get those really cool pictures that you're trying to get when you visit. Browns Beach is where I went to go jet skiing. You'll find guys there like on the side of the beach who will offer to let you rent jet skis for 40 American, 20 American. Make sure they don't get you. If you have the chance, I recommend you go on a African tour of Barbados. We were able to see the baobab tree, which is a 1,000-year-old tree, one of the oldest trees in Barbados. We were able to see an African burial ground where hundreds of slaves were buried, so be sure to go on a Pan-African tour. Another really cool thing that my sister and I got to do is we caught the sun rise. One morning, just wake up kind of early, like 5, 6 a.m. On vacation, I know, but wake up early, catch a sunrise before anyone is on the beach yet. It is so beautiful to just be on the beach and hear the oceans and smell the water and to see the sunrise. So make sure you catch a sunrise or a sunset. The Coast restaurant is a restaurant that we frequented. We made some friends there in Hastings in Barbados. That is a place that you definitely have to check out. They have a reasonably priced breakfast. You can get breakfast for like 11 American dollars, which is kind of good seeing as how the way that the island is going. It's so much more about tourism and things are getting so much more expensive. So the Coast has like some pretty good prices, and it's been those prices for the past couple years or since last year that I went. Also, pro tip, if you are going to stay with an Airbnb, be sure to bring your own washcloth and towel. This is the second time that I stayed in an Airbnb in Barbados, and things like that aren't usually like a part of the deal. Like, you should probably bring your own washcloth and towel. Another pro tip is I actually got my flight to Barbados for $230 round trip on JetBlue, so be sure to check out my other YouTube video on websites where you can find really cheap travel. So that is the end of my video. I want to say thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Put down in the comments below if you want to see more travel videos or what you want to see from me next. And as always, be blessed.